Suppers. We're just going to have a tap-in moment. Tapped-in moments are when a thought comes to the mind and we just allow ourselves to flow in the thought process. So the thought is heart, mind. So if my mind is set on things above, which means my mind is set on love, patience, peace, joy, prosperity, abundance, healing, growing, nurturing, the fruits of the spirit, gentleness, meekness, kindness, joy, compassion, right? Now, if God tells us to come to him for everything, right? Meaning that we should set our minds on the things that are above what we're going through. Now, we know that we have seen above and below in many different ways presented to us. We know that the ego side of us is the lower self of us, and we know that the higher version of us is in our love space, right? So when we're operating in love, we're moving into the higher form of us, and when we're operating in ego, we're moving in flesh. So I want us to just keep just letting the thoughts process. So when we are speaking of going into our resting space, right, and speaking God to renew our mind daily and to create in us a clean heart, right? We have to ask for that daily, because you may have residue in your heart space that's causing you to think not above. You may have residue in your heart space that's keeping you from thinking of the thoughts of heaven, the thoughts of heavenly thoughts, the fruits of the spirit. If you are not asking God to restore you daily by renewing your heart, renewing your mind, and creating in you a clean heart space, you are operating in your flesh. You're not leading in your heart space, which is the center of you. The center of you is where God thrives. That's where your joy comes from. So if you wake up and you have a bitter heart, your mindset is going to be set on bitterness. If you wake up and you have a doubtful heart, your mind is going to be set on doubt. If you wake up and you have a vengeful heart, your mindset is going to wake up on vengeance. If you wake up and your mindset is on, if your heart is on love, you're going to automatically move there. But if you're not there, you have to pray to get there, because something has happened to your spirit man overnight to where your flesh has taken over. So as I'm thinking about these things now, I'm like, every day God asks us to reset ourselves so we can be on the flow of love. If we're not doing that, we're having a hard time operating. We're having a hard time being in connection. We're having a hard time moving into what we prayed for, moving into what we asked God to show us, moving into what we asked God to deliver us from. So ask yourself today, is my heart space clear so my mind can operate in the joy? Or is my heart space full of junk that I need to remove? You guys have a great day. Stay amazing.